On this episode of Carnage, we're at MPW to get a roll cage in our twin turbo ute build. Right, so here we are at MPW where Adam and the boys are going to help us out with the roll cage in this car, and in fact they build some of the toughest cars in Melbourne, many of which end up on the front cover of the magazine. So not only are they going to help us out with the roll cage fabrication, they're going to help us out with some rear end fabrication. In fact, with a twin turbo 427 cube motor, we're going to need a lot of fabrication. So let's get Adam in here and show us what we need to do. So Adam, we're here to build a roll cage. Where do we start and how can I help?
Well, you've already done a lot. You've already stripped all the interior. You've got all of the floor out, for all of the sound deadening out for us.
Yep.
Our next step's going to be cleaning up where the feet go.
Yep, cool.
Once we clean up where the feet go, we'll pull these side trims off of the dash because we're going to try and pull a bar down without notching into the dash itself.
Yep.
We'll try and pull them into there. And then we'll make a main hoop. So we'll measure up and make a main hoop.
Okay.
So this has changed over the years, the way we do this. What we used to do was we used to have all of these bends with a jig, and we used to go and set them up, measure angles, do all this kind of stuff. It would take us forever to measure a cage.
Yeah.
And now, like we're going digital with everything here, we've actually got a program called BendTech, which I'll run you through. And what we do with that is we can actually just punch the measurements into our preset templates, and that will give us bend radiuses, give us everything that we need.
Wow.
We then go and throw it into the Speedworks bender, and yeah, we will get it very, very close. We build a main hoop. We sit the main hoop in place, and I take all of my measurements for the rest of the cage off that main hoop.
Yeah.
And then we will fold up a cage and get it in.
Yeah, I can imagine that back in the day there would have been a lot of trial and error, a lot of wasted pipe.
There was.
So now it's just, basically you get your measurements, stick it in the program, it tells you what radius and what bends you need to do, and away you go.
Look, it's not that simple, but after using it for as many times as we have, it becomes a faultless program. So in saying that, you still have the occasional little bit of waste or something like that, but it's nothing like it used to be. And with the price of chromoly these days, it's just better for us, the customer, everyone in the long run.
Awesome.
So.
All right, I'll get you to mark out some spots on the floor pan with a marking pen. I'll strip out those and we'll make it clean. So I just got to get the rest of this floor mat out. I didn't think we were going quite this far forward, but yeah, apparently we are. Right, there's that.
So I'll just put a little bit more bend in them now.
Yeah, wow. Oh yeah, that's cool. That fits perfectly.
So as far as cutting our tube goes, we've got an option in BendTech where we can come through and work out cutting. So you would come in, new cut, and that's our stay up against our main hoop here. If we zoom in, you can see. Now, as soon as you do that, you can go complete, and then it'll actually give you a printout onto a piece of paper that we can cut out. We can wrap around the tube, and we can cut it to suit. Now, we used to use pipe notches and all that kind of stuff. I find it easier with the grinder. I get a perfect cut every time. Now, we've gone away from doing this, although it works really well for us. What's actually happened is Fast Fab's come up with these. So we purchased these off Fast Fab. They slide over the tube. They're marked as a 20 degree, 10 degree, 5 degree, 45 degree, whatever we go up to, and we just slide it over the tube. It's got a notch here, which we draw a line on. So what we'll do is we'll draw a line in here when we get that perfectly over our hoop or what we're going to, and then we slide that back down. As long as that line lines up, line this up with the end, we can trace around it, go and cut it, clean it, and then it notches to the pipe. In my opinion, much nicer than using a piece of paper for a printout. You can always go past that. It's just easier to mark with these things here, so they've been really handy. You'll see us using it throughout the process.
So it seems, make it shout, make it scream. Little voice in your brain, driving you insane. Just do it up for like 1 minute. Just do it up. Kicks up. Just deal with that. Just deal with it. Just deal with it.
Car's moved, all right. So I've been back at the Carnage workshop making solid progress on the 1UZ loom. I left Adam to his devices and looks like he's been doing stuff. Let's have a look. Oh, holy shit. Check it out.
You almost have a cage. I had to bend this because, well, we had to make room for your belly.
And my seats, yeah.
Yeah, so we set a seat in with a straight taxi bar and we fitted in it. But we had our concerns.
Wow.
So
I feel attacked.
Now we have to, because we're...
Jesus, you've done up the top as well, wow.
Because we're bending this back, now we've got to put 2 stays up to the top though.
Yeah.
So
okay.
because it's an offset taxi bar.
Yeah.
So I'll just get this, finish notching this.
Yeah, I figured
get this in.
That was the thing, yeah. Wow, dude, you have knocked this out in record time. I mean, there's still a fair bit to go, but still,
there's a
wow.
to go. So
wow.
Normally I get them folded up and made in a day, and then the other days go
a full day of welding and...
Oh, there's easily a full day of welding plus feet. So we make these feet with holes in them, and what we do is we drop the cage down through them, and then what that allows us to do is square everything up, and then because we purposely make the main hoop a little bit longer, then we'll mark it when we pull it all apart to clean it up and everything, and then after we 3D scan it, obviously that'll sit perfectly onto the new feet that we make.
Jesus. Done well, dude. So while I've been away, Adam has absolutely smashed out this cage. Of course, there's still a couple of days work in it, but still, he's done all the hard work in terms of like, got all the bar angles right, you know, the main hoop, the front hoops, crossbar, And now he's doing the taxi bar. He's going to put the taxi bar in, weld it into the main hoop, so then they can drop that into the car, and that's pretty much done. So obviously there's still a full day's worth of welding just in those bars, and then, you know, they've still got to build out the feet properly and do the bolt-in side intrusion bars. So there's still, yeah, definitely a couple days worth of work in this, but I am super impressed with how fast Adam has smashed this out so far. And so he's going to weld it on this very cool welding table. You can get these from Hare and Forbes actually, and they are perfect for doing that sort of work. But yeah, I think that's where we're going to call it tonight, and Adam's going to be welding away, and we'll catch up with him in the morning. Don't mind me, I'm just testing my seat. So, trans brake. Right, so Adam's been working away on the cage, and we believe he's made some solid progress. So let's have a look, see what he's done. All right, let's have a look. Ooh. Ooh. Wow. That's all welded in. Man. So when we left the other day, Adam had just basically put the main hoop in there. That was all fully welded, you know, the cross braces and stuff, but we had none of the roof bars or anything. They're all done now, all done to the foot plates. There's just some final welding needed to be done around the feet, but other than that, this cage is almost done. And then he'll have to do the side intrusion bars, which will be bolt-in removable. But yeah, wow, he's smashed this out. It looks amazing. So cool. Alrighty, well, I've bought some door trims around so we can sit them in there and see how they're going to interfere with the side intrusions. And I also have some seat mounts, so we'll sit them in position and see, well, see what we're going to have to do, because, you know, as usual, it's one size fits nobody. Alright, so we've got a little bit of interference there. I mean, they will shut, but just tight. But yeah, this speaker pod is definitely going to interfere with our side intrusions. Alright, we'll have to ditch them. So obviously we're using VPW's Part-4 seats for safety. We've also got some aluminium rails here from VPW as well. So we'll bolt them up to the side of our seat and work out how we're going to get these things mounted into the car. In case you didn't notice, there's a front and a back on these. So this side is larger than this side, so larger side to the front. Okay. Yeah, I think I might have to go another hole up in the front. That's easy to do. Wow, our 425 measurement is right in between. That's annoying. So it doesn't matter if we flip them outwards or inwards, the holes are in the wrong spot. That's a bit better. Brah. Sweet. All right. So we kind of dummied up our driver's seat. We'll get the passenger seat out, put the brackets on in the same position, sit it up on the floor and see if it lines up in the same sort of spot so we get some symmetry in there. But yeah, this looks like it's going to work. One bolt lines up with the factory seating position, so we can use that to anchor one corner and then make up our mounts and floor plates for the other bolts in the other 3 positions. Utes are handy. They double as workbenches. That one. Right. Cool. All right, so we're just going to unscrew this speaker pod so Adam can work his magic with the roll cage. But yeah, we're going to have to fill in the speaker holes, I think, or just put in something that sits a lot more flush. So I've got the seats positioned in the car. Well, obviously not in the car, but we've worked out their positioning in the car. But before we lock them down, Adam has to do the side intrusion bars because they can only go one spot. And if they interfere with where the seats sit, like these wings, then we'll just have to adjust the seat positioning. But I've got the seat positioning where I like at the moment. Adam will do his thing, and then when he's done his thing, yeah, we can lock it all down. Almost done.
So obviously the VS Commodore has different seat spacing than what our rail does from VPW. So what we've done is we've actually elongated or opened up one of the holes just by cutting out this slot. Now we're going to jump onto Fusion 360 and we'll draw a spacer or draw a washer, which is going to spread the load over 60 mil and we'll go 40 mil wide with it 23 mil in. Now that's going to put us in a perfect spot where we can actually move that spacer around a touch and it's going to clamp down onto the seat, making it as strong as the factory seat. While we're at it, we might even draw a couple of washers for the front and the other side as well. So what we're doing is, as we said upstairs, we draw everything in Fusion 360 and then we bring it down to our CNC plasma cutter. And so what we'll do now is transfer the data that we just drew over to this, put in the right settings, obviously put some 4mm alley in here and we'll be able to cut it out. So we've ended up cutting the washer out of 1/4 inch plate that we had here. So that'll sit over the top like that now, and that'll line up with the factory seat bolt holes. So that gives us some movement throughout here, and it's going to share that load and clamp down, making it actually stronger than if we were just clamping to these two small surfaces. So that is nice and neat and tidy and super safe.
Let's have a look. Ooh, over the bar. Whoop. Here we go. There we go. Look at that. Woohoo! That's cool. Awesome. Now to see if we can live with these seats for a whole week during drag challenge. I think we will. They're pretty comfortable. They're not bad at all. So there we have it. Massive thanks to Adam and the team at MPW for smashing this out. Cage is done, seats done, removable side intrusions. They're going to just finalise a couple little things and then it's all done, ready to take back to our shop where we're going to do the mini tubs, sort out the front suspension, and then the car will come back here so Adam can do the diff and set up the rear suspension. But you're going to see all that on a future episode of Carnage.